How far would you go to avoid a traffic ticket?
Well, let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
If you've had a driver's license for any amount of time, then you have most likely felt that dreadful sinking feeling of whoop whoop, looking in your rearview mirror, seeing those blue lights and knowing that an officer of the law is pulling you over. Now, they walk up to the door, and the thing that you say in those next few seconds makes all the difference in the world to determine if A, you're gonna get out of a ticket, or B, we're gonna talk about you on this show.
That's right. Today we're gonna talk about some of those people who had that person in blue approach their car and then they did something a little weird to try to get out of that traffic ticket. It's time for Policeman! You don't have to put on your blue light.
But if you do, I'll come up with something crazy to get out of it. Whew.
Wow.
Not everybody can be Sting.
We should call Sting.
All right.
Have him fill in when we want to do
With that
titles.
voice, man, I bet he's gotten out of some tickets. But these people haven't. Guess where we're going first, Rhett? Florida.
Florida.
Of course. In 2014, Julius Lupowitz of West Melbourne, Florida, realized that he was being pulled over by the police, and he decided to create a diversion, okay?
Smart.
Now, here's a picture of the guy.
Smart.
So, spoiler alert, he was mugshotted while wearing his active wear.
Oh, yeah, you gotta stay active.
Oh yeah, he got very active in the mental region as the cop was coming up, and he decided to call 911 in order to send the cops physically in another direction.
Oh.
And I'm gonna play the 911
creative.
call for you now. Note his specific angle.
Okay.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
I see there's a murder that's going to happen, I swear, on Wingate, and on Wickham,
Where?
Wingate and Hollywood. Wingate and Hollywood.
Yes.
When there's definitely someone going to get shot.
Definitely.
Please, Wingate and Hollywood, please.
Okay, sir, please take it.
And then he hangs up.
That's interesting. He's predicting the future. I mean, usually when you say that a murder's gonna happen, you're the murderer.
There's a murder that's gonna happen, but it's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't add that part. He also didn't know where the location was, and he had to change it in the middle of the thing.
Yeah. The killer was running, apparently.
He calls right back. They're like, describe the person who's gonna be a murderer. And he just keeps saying, we get in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Just
trust
go
me.
there. Whatever you do, don't come to where I am.
Definitely gonna be a murderer.
Unfortunately, the thing that Julius didn't take into account is that there is more than one officer in West Melbourne, Florida.
Ooh.
So the one that was with
Important
him
detail.
stayed with him, and then they sent a different officer
Yeah.
to Wingate and Hollywood.
Right, where the murder was gonna
When
happen.
the murder was gonna happen.
Imminently.
And then the dispatcher, who was suspicious, traced the call and said, okay, now I know that this guy here who's already being pulled over is doing this fake call. So then he tells that officer, so instead of getting just a $200 traffic ticket, he also found himself facing a felony charge with up to 5 years in prison for this little gonna be a murderer ruse.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag worth it.
Oh yeah, definitely. In 2013, in New Hampshire, state trooper pulls over Carly Williams. She's going almost 20 miles over the speed limit.
Carly, slow down,
Carly seems distraught, and then she tells the officer that she is rushing to the hospital to say goodbye to her father, who is about to die, minutes away from dying.
Oh no.
So the trooper's like, okay, of course, I wish you luck. Go see your dad. And then because he's a very concerned state trooper, he calls the hospital to check on her father to
Great.
see if he's okay. And that's when he learns that the dad's not at the hospital at all because the dad died 5 years ago.
5 years. Well, hold on. Okay. Maybe there's bad traffic. She's just in traffic for 5 years, getting to her dying father.
The traffic is bad in New Hampshire, but it is not that bad. She was lying, Link.
She was lying.
She made it up. Here's a picture of Carly so you can put a face with the name.
Well, is she the blurred face or is she the unblurred face?
No, she's the unblurred face. Her friend's face is blurred because nobody wants to be seen with someone wearing a strapless ruffle dress.
Ooh.
Carly. Sorry,
Okay, so
Carly.
you're throwing the straffled ruffle dress?
Straffled, nope.
Strapless?
So
Under
the-
the bus with Carly?
The state trooper ends up showing up at her house. He prints out the father's obituary and just holds it up to her. She tries to get out of it, but eventually she confesses, and then she is given a ticket for driving with a suspended registration, because apparently lying about your dead dad is not a chargeable offense. So she did get in trouble.
But it's just not good form, though.
No.
Maybe they should put that on the law books. Sometimes it helps to have an accomplice when trying to get out of a traffic ticket, but sometimes it doesn't. Case in point, last year in Savannah, Georgia, an officer pulled over a car for speeding, and the dude driving the car had his girlfriend in the passenger seat, and he says to the officer, "Officer, my girlfriend, she's pregnant. She's about to have a baby any second. I'm rushing to the hospital." Which is a pretty legit
That's a good one.
reason. But there's a couple of problems here. Problem number one, his girlfriend clearly was not 9 months pregnant.
Okay.
Problem number two, he was headed in the opposite direction from the hospital.
Okay.
And problem number
he
three.
knows a doula.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right. Just trying to
Problem
figure
number
something out.
three, he had clearly done something to tick his girlfriend off, because when she then spoke up and said, "I'm totally fine, my dirtbag boyfriend is lying."
Oh, yeah, you got to get
Come on,
cooperation.
you're pregnant.
Me and my wife,
Shibba-dibba.
we have a basketball in the passenger seat, and she knows to go into breathing exercises.
she, like, puts it under
you
there?
got to have a cooperative woman if you're going to do this. You got to she's got to put the basketball in place and go into the breathing exercise.
I think this is the reason why you got to keep all relationships off the rocks. For that moment when you gotta feign the pregnancy, the officer released the car into the girlfriend's control, and the boyfriend was taken in for suspended license. So she drives off, presumably directly to the hospital to have that baby.
That's right.
Have that basketball baby.
Now, not everybody who gets out of a ticket or tries to get out of a ticket is stupid, because UC San Diego senior research scientist Dmitry Kryukov was pulled over and given a ticket for failing to stop at a stop sign, but instead of paying for a lawyer, Dmitry decides to defend himself using physics.
Ooh, Dmitry.
He writes a 4-page paper, submits it to the court. He titles it The Proof of Innocence. Now, this is not to be confused with Seduced by Innocence, Volume 1 in the Seduce saga, in which Rose Wintersong meets Derek, the sexy martial arts instructor who teaches her more than self-defense.
Did you make that up?
No, that's true. It's on Amazon. I bought it when I looked it up. So he used
Derek removing the black belt.
a very detailed scientific explanation to prove that the cops' quote, perception of reality did not properly reflect reality.
Okay.
So he explains essentially that from where the cop was, he couldn't tell that he actually came to a pause. It was very complicated. But lo and behold, he submits this to the court, and it actually works. He also submitted it to the public online so everybody could see it.
So these are graphs, like, oh, here's a blue peak, here's 2 blue peaks, 2 green peaks, and 2 red peaks.
It's very complicated.
I immediately understand how the judge was swayed. He's basically like, ain't nobody got time for that, and then just let him go.
Exactly.
Which is pretty smart.
Yeah, it's smart.
Sometimes science, however, Rhett, is not on your side. In summer 2012, in the Kemerovo region of Russia, you're a fan of that region.
Yeah.
A man received a traffic certificate.
Yeah, a certificate.
A traffic certificate for a minor car accident. Now, I know based on Russian dash cam footage that a minor accident can mean anything from like a fender bender to Mad Max Fury Road.
Right.
But in this case, it was only for $32.
All right.
Fine for $32, but he refused to pay it, and instead he writes a not 4-page, but a 10-page explanation saying that he couldn't pay his ticket because, according to his calculations, the world was going to end that year.
In 2012, right. That's when the world ended.
It takes 10 pages to explain that the world is going to end and that the ticket is pointless. Of course, it also is a good argument for just paying the ticket because the world is going to end. But I'm just going to spend my money on like bacon cheeseburgers and skydiving.
Yeah, why waste your time getting out of a ticket if the world's ending?
Exactly. That did not work, however. And then he proceeded with plan B, which was visiting the court every single day with drawings and graphs, trying to prove that the world was going to end.
Did this work?
It didn't work. And then he said, well, if everyone forgives their debts, maybe the world won't end after all.
Okay, that's a nice back
And that
pocket
was his
thing.
argument, which, because we're all still here, thank you, Mr. Russian traffic
worked.
violator.
He
You
saved the world! Okay, From Russia to England,
Do
Dale Lyle, 21-year-old from Bristol, received a speeding ticket in the mail. Apparently, that's how they do it over there.
Non-confrontational.
Claimed that he had been going 98 miles per hour in a 70-mile-per-hour zone.
Ooh.
Just one problem. Dale was driving a tiny Honda Civic that he described as a glorified Japanese shopping trolley. Apparently, that just means it was like almost like a shopping cart, very slow.
Okay.
Meaning, no way this thing can go 98 miles per hour. So he spends the next year of his life trying to prove it. He hires an independent specialist, pays him 600 pounds, that's $750 approximately, gets this guy to drive around a 2-mile track, proving that the top speed of his Civic is 85 miles per hour. Apparently, he also hired a Glamour Shots photographer because...
Whoa, he's good looking.
Look at this. I mean, he really wanted to pose for this thing.
Driving while dreamy.
I know what you ladies are thinking. I'd let Dale drive 98 in my 70-mile-per-hour zone.
Oh, look at those sleeves. Man, even his sleeves are
And
sexy.
listen, and this worked.
A lot of room in that sleeve.
I don't know if he submitted the picture along with his explanation, but this did work. And but I don't know how much the ticket was for. I think he probably paid more for the specialist than the ticket.
I'm thinking so,
So
yeah.
he's currently trying to talk to the court to get his money back, and then he could take somebody out on a date. He drives apparently in the passenger seat.
Oh, man. He could be a host.
No, it's England, actually. That's where the driver is, isn't it?
He could be a host of like a reality show in America or a game show. We'll take them in droves, man.
Okay, Dale, we'll look into that.
Do it, man. Thank you for liking, commenting, and not violating any traffic law.
You know what time it is.
Hi, my name is Ellie Stivers. That's my mythical beast, Hocus Pocus. We're coming to you from Orange County, California, and it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
If you want to look your best while you're speeding down the highway and talking your way out of traffic tickets, you should get the Mythical Pomade and my beard oil.
Yes, and my lip balm. It's peculiarly perfect peanut butter peppermint. You'll love it. Click through to Good Mythical More, where I'm going to share my traffic ticket stories. There's lots of them. They're ridiculous.
Wynne face!
Congratulations to Catch Up to Emily.
You win a GMM beanie.
Put the beanie on the salad.
Look at that, we got 2 colors. We'll send you your favorite color, if it's gray or orange.
Click on the left to watch our show after the show, Good Mythical More.
Click on the right to watch another episode of Good Mythical Morning.
And click the circular channel icon to subscribe.
Thanks for being your mythical best.